Yo, what's up? It's your boy Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Legends never die, they stay in our hearts. If you want to support us, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you can come down here and hit the join button under the video or in our channel section. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/currency365. And we also have Cash App and also PayPal for supports if you want to sow some seeds. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the video and keep the movement going. Legends. Bye.
On the lay of security things, but I've been recently running a couple of campaigns, and I'm sure some of the listeners here are part of the campaigns. But one of the biggest issues I'm running into with the campaign is there's no really good AI bots to add to Discord to immediately detect and delete you continuous users. I'm talking about users with the same name plus one number and over again. And I've been having issues with these duplicate users just joining in my Discord from the from the campaign. And I just wish there was a better bot for me to use. So if anybody here is listening and has any tips for me or knows of a bot that can automatically get rid of these duplicate joiners on the Discord, would love that. Would love it. Next, Shane, my question for you is, how can we use AI or LLMs to detect malicious bad actors in Web3? Or can you even use bad idea to protect yourself against malicious actors?
Those are good questions. That's one where I would immediately jump up and remind you that I'm not super good at crypto trading. Like if I were the millionaire and stuff, and I had the dev capabilities to avoid that stuff, I'd be doing all that on my own. I rely on the tools to do most of that for me. I think pattern analysis in trading is a big thing, like being able to watch wallets or using programs to watch wallets for you. I'm a huge fan also of bubble maps. I'm sure many people here know what bubble maps is. And I think AI versions of things like bubble maps, or when bubble maps is ready to give me not just the data like that, but again, like I said, analyze it and speak it to me in a way where I can make actionable, confident decisions with data. Because right now, sometimes I'm watching charts and I think I know what I'm looking at, but I'm probably lying to myself about half of the information I think I'm taking in. I think maybe we all do that sometimes, but I wish that there was a way that I could just ask the question, if Dex Tools is going to integrate an AI, or if Bubble Maps is going to have that AI assistant right there. And I'd love for it to be the bad idea, agent system, but it's a really fierce competition for stuff like that out there. So I would say that the folks that are responsible for coding our bots have got more than their hands full with gaps to fill and places to put this technology. And the only thing holding us back, this is always a fun conversation, is human bandwidth, right? So like the guy making our bot, the people responsible for the creation and the coding, the physical work that goes into monitoring and managing these bots, only have 24 human flesh hours in a day that they can really work on these things. And that is really the only limit right now about what could be done with these bots. So right now, I use it for pattern analysis and stuff, but frankly, I don't rely on AI a lot to make my safety decisions and stuff. I wish there were an easier way. If anybody knows an easier way, is there who would we look at for that? Let me ask you a question, Alex. Is that something that Uniswap is going to do first, or is Jupiter going to do that on Solana? Like these dexes and these brands and companies competing for your volume dollars have got to be trying to figure that out the same way. And they're going to want to come out and say, hey, we've got the AI anti-sandwich protection. And, we're going to make sure that there's anti-snipe on every single launch if you put your liquidity here first. Are they doing that? Do you know of anybody that's really working on that?
Geez, I don't know anybody off the top of my head that's working on that as well. You think it would be really smart, and it would provide a lot of customer trust to Uniswap. If they added a little bit more features to protect you against honeypots, for example, or just badly audited badly reviewed audits from the, Dex screeners and Dex tools. That would be really nice if Uniswap did something like that. But again, I don't know if that would necessarily go against the whole decentralized aspect of Uniswap. Uniswap's cool because essentially they just give you the warning and you do whatever the heck you want, which is nice. But again, I guess it does have that downside. So, like Shane did say, though, if you guys have any cool tools that help enhance your security or protect you in Web3, leave them down in the comments below. Really curious to check those out as well. All right, you guys. Next, fourth question today is how can AI help with portfolio optimization? And I think this is a great question. Just to pass right over to Shaq because I think you touched on this earlier.
Could you repeat that one more time? Sorry, I was breaking up just a bit.
Oh, no problem. The question is, how can AI help with portfolio optimization?
Oh, for sure. Well, firstly, it's based on like sort of whatever your thesis is, right? Like what vertical do you want to invest in? What sorts of types of technology do you want to invest in, et cetera, et cetera. But once you made sort of this overarching decisions, I kind of like view it like maybe like, I don't know if y'all have seen like the Robinhood like risk profile, right? Like where it's like, oh, you have like a bunch of like questions that you can sort of answer right in order for Robinhood to sort of set up your like stock scanners or whatever. It's kind of like almost like that, but instead of like basically once you've set up your stock scanners, it's off to the races, right? With AI, like the AI basically maybe can ask a series of like, okay, like what is your like risk threshold here? What types of like like safe assets versus like what percentage of your portfolio do you want, and sort of safer investments versus like riskier, more speculative investments. And then after that, it's like the AI can basically make the executive decisions on what exactly like what portfolio exactly to invest in, what ETF to pick, et cetera, just based on sort of more data than you frankly have access to as like sort of an individual trader. And so ultimately, it's probably going to end up making better day-to-day decisions, while I think it's still essential for sort of the human trader to make sort of the overarching decisions just so they're comfortable with the decisions being made with their money, obviously, right? But I do think there's a significant portion that will likely, if not most definitely, get automated, with regards to day-to-day trading for sure.
I have another question for you guys here as well. And because everyone talks about the human touch, my question is do you think AI decisions will eventually start outweighing your natural gut feeling? Do you think you'll start listening to AI in the near future more than you'll be listening to your gut? What's your thoughts on that, Shane?
I don't think that I will, but I think that on an average curve of users, there will be people who do, right? That's how curves work. There are going to be people, and I'm going to sound like such a jerk right here. So for a second, I'm going to take off my bad idea hat and coat and lay that down. I'm just going to be Shane for a second. So there's some dumb people out there, you guys. And when they finally figure out how to use this stuff, they're going to immediately crush it. They're going to lean on it so hard, and you're going to notice that you're going to see more and more interactions with people that you can tell they're just AI and they're putting out stuff. And I don't know if I'm going to see this where I work. My job is very different. I do fitness for a living, but those of you that work in large office buildings and stuff, man, you're going to see this in the next 5 to 10 years. It won't even be that much. In the next 5 years, you're going to start seeing people that start getting lazy at work and turning in AI and getting caught and fired because they're farming content on like engineer GPT. I know people that work in different industries, and you're starting to see skill specific GPTs pop up so that people can better write their proposals for architecture or potentially make better marketing pitch. Like it's gonna be like that. So I'm worried that I'm not gonna be the one maybe who's like, I gotta imagine that AI is right and I'm an idiot, because generally I'm pretty cocksure and a little too confident most of the time, and I question the AI. But I know there's going to be a lot of people that begin to trust the AI, like you said, and it makes me sad because what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's actually like a lack of self-confidence, which is probably why it bothers me so much, because I spend so much time working with people to build up like their self-confidence and to believe in themselves and stuff. And these AIs are going to undermine a lot of people, like, shit, that's a better answer. Or, the way I wrote that the first time wasn't good. And in some instances, that's powerful. It's going to be great for like business communications and stuff, but it's going to screw up a lot of dating. It's going to screw up a lot of interpersonal relationships. So we're here for it. I'm here for it. But it's a super interesting question.
Yeah, man. Don't be sleeping on my AI Riz here. That's for sure. Nobody be sleeping on that AI Riz, man. I think there's a whole South Park episode about this AI Riz. Uh, it's interesting, man. God, the day that people start using AI to pick up significant others, oof, that's gonna be a brutal one. Shaq, I'm gonna pass this question to you as well. Really curious on your thoughts. Do you think people are gonna start listening to AI more than they're gonna be listening to their gut?
Wait, sorry, were you talking to me, Alex?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. Sorry.
Oh, got you.
I asked. Yeah, you know the question, right?
Yeah. So, sorry, can you repeat it one more time?
Yeah, do you think people are gonna start trusting AI responses more than they're gonna start trusting
Oh,
their
okay.
own gut?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I 100% think so, man. Right? Because ultimately, like, what are we? We're just a collection of our, like, sort of thoughts and existing knowledge, right? And so, if you have sort of like a tool that has access to collectively more data and collectively more like intuition, why would you not trust it more, right? And obviously, like, yes, there's like these concerns, like, okay, how is this model trained? Like, what is sort of the validation mechanisms for the model, et cetera, right? But like at the end of the day, it's objectively sort of it has at least already we're seeing this. It has a level of reasoning that is at least on par, with sort of like some individuals, right? And so I think like when you're already at that level and you already have the ability to synthesize information and draw your own insights from what AI is giving you, it becomes immensely powerful tool. I think the other really major concern that I have before fully trusting it is like really looking into like how these companies are data indexing. I was watching this interview recently from like a CEO of like one of these like AI GPT wrappers, and what he was saying is like the next winner, right? Like it's not going to be like OpenAI versus Bard versus blah blah blah, right? Like the next winner in AI tech is going to be whoever can figure out data indexing the fastest. And what they mean by that is like literally like, okay, what is the highest quality content that we could train our sort of agent on? What is like the highest and like also like what is the least amount of like content that like in order to prevent hallucination, in order to prevent like just noise in the data, what is the highest quality and like limited set of content that we should pick in order to like sort of allow for the AI to access. And so when you really figure that out properly, and maybe that hasn't been figured out properly yet, but I mean, I'm for sure like already confident that AI knows like 10 times the amount I do with like even the current indexing methods, right? Like just an insane amount. You can ask it for whatever, and it's going to spit out like a pretty decent answer most of the time. Yes, there's like the 5% of cases where it just absolutely hallucinates, but I feel like humans also have that level of intuition to where it's like, okay, this is just not a right answer. Let me just rewrite my prompt, right? It's also like about prompt engineering to some degree as well. It's like, let me just rewrite my prompt to maybe suit this sort of like type of content more, right? Like and flag this type of content more, and sort of like when the AI is searching for stuff to get trained on. So I really think it's a question of like, okay, well, if data indexing like comes to the point where it's sort of very reliable consistently, there's literally like maybe like under 1% or 0% chance of hallucination, then people not only like are going to start trusting it, they should start trusting it, frankly, because it has like just access to more information than you do.
Dude, awesome point, Shaq. Great response there. Really something interesting to think about, and it's nice to kind of see, both sides of the coin here from both you, Shane, and Shaq. So I got one more question, you guys, and this one is really onto you. If you guys want to answer it, this one's about MEV. I want to touch on MEV as it's probably the most commonly used AI product or tool in Web3 right now. I would say, I'm sure we've all heard of Jared from Subway.eth and how much money he's made in the past year from MEV and sandwich attacks. You guys, give me the thumbs up here if you're cool on this question, if you're cool on answering questions about MEV. If so, I'll ask it away. If not, I'm okay with wrapping it up as well. Just give me one of these if you want to talk about MEV. If not, we can wrap her up.
It makes me laugh when you do the sad face. I feel like that's social pressure. I can tell you how little I know about MEVs. I want to throw this back on Uniswap and these other dexes. Nobody here runs a dex. I want to throw that at them. I cannot believe after watching all of that money over the last 9 months and everybody's awareness of these things that there just hasn't been some massive push by one of these dexes to go, you know what, that shit sucks because that's money that we could have been making. Like at a minimum, that's money. I know they don't care. Transactions are transactions or whatever. But it's just frustrating that nobody has stood up and said anything. So I can't offer any solutions as bad idea or as myself right now because I don't really know much about what could really be done because I don't know how much of that. I know it's our responsibility, right? DeFi and trading, and it's all your own stuff. But there's got to be a product solution. Somebody can do better. Do better, somebody.
I use the MEV blocker, the RPC node. That one but it only works for Ethereum, unfortunately, for my MetaMask. I wish it worked for other chains, especially like Solana right now, for example. I would love to have a RPC node to prevent sandwich attacks on Solana. But anyways, Shane, you pretty much answered my question because the question was, I'm curious on your thoughts on MEV and sandwich attacks. And is it possible to use AI to thwart these AI attacks? Shaq.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I think yeah, I mean, great points actually like brought up earlier, and I think like there's several strategies that are already being used in order to like prevent sort of MEV attacks. Like so, for example, sort of automated systems that are just scanning sort of transactions coming in. Frequent batch auctioning, I think, is available on Say, where like prevent like front running attacks and whatnot. So basically, just sort of having like everything like basically like the past X number of trades, be executed at the same time at the same price. And then so, obviously like maybe protecting RPC endpoints, using DeFi aggregators and sort of privacy solutions as well. There's all these like already like tools that exist. The question now is like, okay, like how can we maybe analyze, right, and maybe like not even have these tools, like have the need for these tools to exist, I guess, right? Like how can we analyze incoming trades at a rate, obviously like latency matters immensely in trading, at a rate and also consistency of where we can see like consistently, okay, 95% or more of these attacks are being detected on this network, so we don't really have to worry about this anymore, and maybe like also reduce some of the computational overhead that's required with some of these solutions, and also like architecture, right, that's required in some of these solutions with like frequent batch auctioning, for example. So I think maybe like what you could do is, if you have like a shared sequencer model or even like just a sequencer in general, like get the string of trades and transaction data that's being posted to your data availability layer, and literally just like have sort of AI like analyze the incoming stream of transactions, and obviously like metadata for transactions isn't like that intense to process, so maybe that could actually be feasibly done with the latency necessary, but maybe I think we'd also need to see like the maybe like the invention of like more low latency like AI agents. Like I think right now, obviously, latency really isn't a priority, as like sort of the response right like quality is. So maybe if you actually wanted to do like something feasible with like sort of a trading application, right, where you're preventing a lot of these MEV attacks, you would need a fundamentally different architecture for the model. Now, I mean, I don't want to comment too much on that since I'm like really uneducated on that stuff, but yeah, I mean that's just sort of my 2 cents.
Dude, really great points. As usual, Shaq, it was great, especially really hitting on the technical side of things and some technical solutions. It was really great, Shaq. So thanks for bringing that up there. You guys, now is the time. I'm out of questions. So if anybody here's listening has any questions for any of our speakers regarding our topic today, feel free to request to speak, or you can leave a comment in the comment section. And while I'm waiting for you guys to come up and ask any questions, if you do, I am going to start wrapping up with a little bit of outros. So I just want to thank everybody again here for joining our space. It was really great today. Some really great points were made. Some really great education was dropped. So if you guys enjoyed the space, of course, give all the speakers up here a follow. Give all the products a follow. And give P a follow as well if you enjoyed the space. Really, these spaces aren't nothing without you guys as listeners, and of course, our great speakers. So, everybody here appreciates you all. And that being said, I'm going to pass the mic over to Shane for some final thoughts.
So before we go, I would say that everyone should check out the 2 pin posts that I put up top earlier. If you haven't already scrolled past those, there's a long thread from PAI about a lot of what they're doing. It's like an 8-post thread. So you either need to bookmark that or open that in a new window so you don't lose it as you exit the spaces and stuff. It's easy when you leave spaces, kind of like a concert where they've got all those people with weird backpacks handing out flyers that nobody wants, but you take one anyway. You need to bookmark that so you can read it later because it's more than one post. And then the other one is the bad idea post about the Bad Ideas news website. We actually had a community member step up and create what is legitimately an entire news website / organization. So to give you an example of what like a DAO is, this was something that this guy had this idea, and he said, you guys put out a lot of good news, but I don't feel like it's highlighted or it's given enough visual impact. So he's a professional media guy. Check out that post up there and check out the Bad Ideas AI news website. It'll give you a chance to look into a lot of the stuff that we're doing, and it'll lead you down a rabbit hole for the rest of our stuff. And then in closing, what I would say was thanks to Alex and PAI and Footprint Analytics, all 3 of them, for inviting us in again, just like last week. And then again, Shaq and Stolte were here last week. I appreciate you guys coming up as speakers too. You guys are really, really onto some cool stuff. Shaq, you are a smart dude. I gave you a follow. I like a lot of what you're talking about. I hope we get to link up again. Russ, what you came up and said earlier was very sweet. And this is me, a Shane, not as bad idea. I appreciate that, man. I think we're all working hard to try and get a brand highlighted. I'm just trying to get Lightspeed's work noticed. Some of you might know who Mr. Lightspeed is. The work that he's done over there with this bot, I know he's put his heart and his soul into this thing, and I'm just trying to make sure that someone who I appreciate gets their work noticed. You know, I like to see my friends win. I like to see Alex get more followers on the PAI account. I like to see Alan NFT sell his graphics and stuff like that. So thanks for having me here. Thanks for Bad Idea. Thanks to the Bad Idea community for giving me the keys to the X account. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but I'm up here saying stuff that may or may not be good. And follow me if you want to hear more of it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining, Shane. It's always a pleasure having you up here. And shout out to Alan NFT in the audience. Alan NFT, how's it going, buddy? Always great to see you, even if you're just listening. It's always a pleasure, Alan. So shout out to Alan NFT and the listeners. Next, I'm passing over to James for some final thoughts. How can we find you at CyberLeap?
Yeah, thanks again for having me. This is great. You can find us at Cyberleap on Twitter. You can also check us out on cyberleap.net. We're building our site live. Everything you see is us doing live. That's the work we're doing. And join our Discord. Thanks again, guys.
Yeah. Guys, go follow Cyberly. Go join the Discord. James, thanks for coming up today, buddy. It's appreciate having you up. Next, Shaq, hit us with those final thoughts, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, really appreciate you having me here again, Alex. I think, you know, since we're speaking like so much about trading today, quick sort of pitch about Layer N. You know, we're building the fastest sort of time to finality L2 there is. And we're also building sort of an order book rollup that's specifically DeFi focused for sort of DeFi applications. So if y'all know sort of anybody building DEXs, lending protocols, and stable coins, or you know, just any power users in the space, you know, just retail investors and people that really love these products, you know, would love to have a conversation with them to learn more, you know, about how, you know, maybe some potential features that we can sort of add on to our platform to make it as developer friendly and as user friendly as possible. So you can find more about Layer N, layern.com. I have sort of their Twitter handle in my bio if y'all want to go check it out through that as well. But super exciting points brought up by everybody here. Really hyped for the future of the space. And yeah, thank you for having me once again.
Hey, thanks for joining. And Shaq, definitely do that pitch you just did in the Footprint Friends chat, man. I think you'll definitely meet some cool people there. But with that being said, you guys, we're wrapping it up. Thank you all again so much for joining this week's space. You know, we do a weekly AI series. So next week, same time, 8 a.m. PST, join us for our next installment in our AI series. I don't know the topic yet, but I'll figure it out soon, and I'll get those questions going. Yeah, you guys, thanks again, and we'll catch you next week. Join our whitelist. Go to p.ai and sign up for our whitelist. And with that being said, I'm wrapping it up. Bye, guys.